So booty cheeks. Let's see if we can fix that. Is that a little bit better? My God, the saturation is crazy. Well, let's see if we can. Oh, oh. All right. Well, we're live again. All right. So let's talk about it. So we're back ish. Big on the ish part because we're not going to officially be back doing lives back to back to back every single day like I was doing it before. To tell you the truth, we go just do it every month. And every month on the 28th, that's how we're going to start it off. All right. So that's number one. I'm sure that if you're already, took a peek at the description on basically all my videos, they have changed from being, just simply go to the school community to now pulling all my stuff off of that platform and onto my own platform. Because through this period, and I don't want to call it searching really, but more so recognizing my characteristics, which is I'm not the type of person to join somebody else's platform. I'm more of the type of person to create my own platform, if you will. And so because of that, this actually, if you um this thing started, let me see if I could even see it. Can't really see it right now. But this, I want to say I started in 2024 actually on this platform, but I never actually put stuff on there like that. Like I put a few things on there, but I didn't go crazy. So when I had the school community, that's when I started putting a lot more of my content on there, right? And so what I realized is that even still, like the people in school are great. The thing is, they're not the right people for me. And what I mean is, although you could find plenty of growth-minded people on school, what I can't find is the people that I want to find, right? Because honestly, my not to my own horn, but my genius is pretty spectacular. In the background, maybe I spend I'll probably talk about this a little more later when I actually sell this thing. But basically, I formulated something that would make me have a decent exit in the next 24 months. But what I realize is that's not something that will unlock my true potential. It still will cap me. And so it's a very crazy payout, no lie, that I will be able to get from it. And so, like, the number you're thinking is probably higher than that. And so, of course, it would take time. I would have to operate it for 24 months at least in order to get it to that point. But then the payout at the end is pretty decent. Um, then, like, great actually. But at the same time, it like pulls me away from what I'm actually destined to do, which is really the way my mind works. It works in frameworks. So to like give you a little framework, if you will, this is something that my wife did when she was teaching my son a little bit of math. And so what she did was to teach more math, I guess, if you will. So there's this game. It's called Hunter something. It's like a little board game, right? And so it has pieces, but it has dice. And these specific dice, when you roll the dice, it has a plus or minus on one. It has numbers on the other two. And so when you roll it, it's like boom, you do math. It's either plus or minus. You could get up to like, 12 maybe, I think. Um, but so then my son has to add it all together or minus it, whatever, to get the number out and know how to move his piece. And so what she ended up doing, she was like, "Hey, let me here on the notebook, just write it down first, right? And then whatever numbers you get, right, let's say it's 5 plus 2. Okay, write down 5 plus 2." So he writes it down in the book, right? And then he figures out the equation. And then boom, he goes ahead and counts this, however many steps. So 5 plus 2 is 7, right? So then he'll count seven pieces. And so what she didn't realize that she was doing is like she was like double tripling the amount of repetitions that he would get on that. And I could instantly see that. I'm like, wow, that's incredible because this is what you're actually doing. And so the way my mind works is building frameworks and systems. So I could easily create it. It's not something that's very difficult for me. And to be honest, this thing that would be a decent payout would actually, it's like, I can't even call it 40 hours of work, but let's call it 40 hours of work in order to put this whole thing together. And I'm just going to turn around and sell it because, or not, because if it wastes too much brain space, I'm just going to put it on the shelf. But there's a lot of different things that I'm putting on the shelf that I have like working in the background, if you will. And so going back to the description, this is how it's laid out. So unfortunately, my phone shit the bed, the business phone that I was telling you, text this number. The battery literally died on me. And so it was random as fuck. I was charging it. And then when I came back to the charging of it, it was just flashing the Apple logo. And so I was like, damn, so I guess I need a new battery. And so, well, I figured that out um, whenever I do. Then I'll put the text me now number again so you could ask me some serious questions. But until then, this is how it's laid out. So it's the what kind of builder are you first? This is a quiz. So you'll find out if you're an oracle, a flame, or a builder. I'm not going to really tell you more details about that. You could just take the quiz. It's literally going to take you like 3 minutes to go through that quiz and get your results. So what you could expect after you take the quiz, you'll get your results, right? But then check out for your email because that's when you'll get your specialized video of the explanation of what your strength and weakness is based on whether you're a flame builder or oracle, right? Then number two is going into the what is number two? The I Lift I community. And so to tell you the truth, that is tier two of my priorities. But what's in there is spectacular. So there was this course that I was going to sell for 10,000. Really, it could be a flagship of 25, 50,000, right? Putting that, bits and pieces together. I'm still migrating stuff from school onto there. So give me some time, but there's already content there. So if you want to join, it is, I want to say 194, something like that a month, $200 a month, basically. So join that. You'll gain immense value because all the stuff that I talk about or I have talked about here is that, but way more, right? And so go through that. You'll get a bunch of PDFs, including PowerPoints and videos and all that stuff, right? Cheat sheets, whatever. There's a bunch of that stuff in there. And so most of the cheat sheets that I talk about, it's gonna be dumped in there. And so if you want access to those in the future videos that I talk about, that's where it's gonna be. Now going back to it. So then the third thing, which is my main priority, tier one. And so this is something that I created months back, but I put it on the back burner to create these other two things that no longer those are on the shelf basically. So the two things was a mechanic app and AI deployments. Let's say it like that. A lot more in depth than just that. So these two things are on the back burner because it's like um even though I could do it, it's just I'm pushing myself to do a lot of different things where it's like these things don't even equate to me reaching my potential. And because they don't equate to that, what is the point of me doing that? So if I'm thinking long term, which is I like the way Japanese philosophy is really, because it's like they are the true long term thinkers, if you will. Because when they build a business, they build like 100-year plans, right? And so there's no real businesses out there that are building 100 years plans like that. So they're really future thinkers. And so got that drink in my cup, that good old H2O. But they're long-term thinkers. And so I'm a long-term thinker as well. But what it is that a lot of the times, a lot in the past, even though I'm long-term thinking, I do short-term shit. And so I'm like, all right, I need to cut that out. So I start getting rid of stuff, deleting stuff that don't equate to really nothing. So there's like the longevity factor. How long is this item going to last? If it's not going to last that long, well, kick that bitch to the curb. And so it's like more so a buy once, cry once mentality. And so this stuff that I'm building is more like a build once, suffer once mentality. So once I put the stuff up on the I Lift I community, which is a bunch of stuff that's there. So like I showed you in the past, just one of my Google Docs, right, that I have, but it's way deeper than that. It's like there's that Google Doc. This is actually another one, besides the one I showed the last time, but this got some stuff too. So it's like there's a lot of information everywhere. All that information is literally going to be slapped into the I Left Eye community. Over time, of course, I'm not going to be, it's not the main priority. So it's going to be over time. At least once a week, I could add something into there. And so right now it's going to be a lot more frequent than that because I'm just moving stuff from school to there. But after that, it's going to be like a weekly thing. So once, probably by the 28th, when we go live again, I'll have more of a solidified schedule of like being like, okay, I'm posting every week at this time, so and so, whatever, right? Lives, like I said, are going to happen every 28th. So every 28th, you could expect to see me live and talk to you guys about something. What it is, might be some philosophy shit. I don't know because I always just come up with what I'm talking about really on the spot, but it probably is going to be more organized and more impactful because I got so much stuff. I actually, because I'm cleansing my stuff, I had this guy who came and picked up something. He said, I think it was a monitor, an extra monitor that I had. Like I literally have three monitors right here behind this laptop screen, and so I had two portable monitors as well. So I got rid of one of them because it's like, what's the point? So when I got rid of it, I was talking to the dude, and he was learning coding and stuff like that, and some type of coding and learning some type of language. I forgot exactly what it was. And so I already put a PDF together to learn Python and the 8 levels to learn Python. And so it's like really a 2 week, 12-week master class on that. And so maybe that might be something that I pull out because it's going to be a bit of a longer video. So I might be making these lives a bit longer, closer to the hour, maybe 90-minute mark. Excuse me. Call it like a master class or something like that, right? Because again, I have plenty of PDFs to make the longevity of a hour. Like I'll go through an hour and be like, "Oh shit, I'm not even finished," type of thing, and then I'll just probably slap you back to point you at the community because the shit would be too long to be honest. And so, for the most part, that's how the flow of things are gonna go. So where it goes, still we still have stuff dropping every 2 weeks ish. So something drops today, and then the next 2 weeks, the 28th, something else is gonna drop. And basically the 2 week flow is there at least for the community collaboration stuff that I've done for the community already. And so those are going to drop. And then plus we have all of this other content that I have available for you guys as well. So like every day, probably go nudge forward and slap something together. But for the tier one thing, which is the tree of knowledge. And so the tree of knowledge, this is the true baby of mine, if you will. And so the tree of knowledge is basically a combination of my frameworks, just the way I see things. Like I'm going ahead and really doing some deep study work so that I could like this book, for example. If we go through it, it's just like a lot of stuff going on in there and stuff like that. Um, just so that I could synthesize the information really well, put it together, and give you my framework on it. Because at the end of the day, somebody else's perspective is good for others, but then it doesn't work for a bunch of other people because again the perspective that you see is different all the time. So I'm gonna give you my point of view on it, and it's gonna be different or similar than whoever you heard, but it's gonna be for me, right? And so I see things in frameworks, I see systems behind everything. And so when whenever I'm talking to anybody, like naturally when I was actually working for people, I would be able to see instantly, oh shit, if they do these three things, like their business would be so much smoother instantly. That's always how I've been. And so, because that's how I've been, I might as well start creating these frameworks and stuff. So, like, we're close to getting a system together where I could just hit that every day and give you a framework every day. And these are new frameworks. So these are things that are not going to ever be a part of the I Lift I community. They're going to be something that's separate from the I Lift I community, right? So the I Lift I community is go all the docs I already have right now. I'm gonna dump all those into there. Of course, it's gonna take time because I have literally hundreds of documents and stuff to synthesize and stuff. And even so, like there's synthesization of the synthesization all at the same time. Because if you guys don't know about, I want to say it's Google Notebook. That shit is crazy. And so just playing with different AI softwares and stuff like that to just enhance what I got going on and give more clarity in whatever it is and simplify it into like a one page thing that you could just like hold in your hand and walk with, right? So those types of things. So it's like I'm back, but I'm not back, if you will. And so the new flow is going to be the 28th. And then once we get to there, I'm sure I'm going to hit you guys with an update of everything that I got going on. It's simply going to probably be 20-ish minutes is what we want to keep it to. Of course, probably might go over that. I usually do. But it's going to always be something that is like succinct. And then if you want the deep, deep, deep depth, you're going to have to just go ahead and go on the I Left Eye platform. And also, I didn't do this yet, but I will do this sooner rather than later, which is at a 7 day low fee price. So, like, if you don't have the $200, well, for 7 days, you probably have like $20, right? And so I'll probably make it like that so that you could at least get a decent amount of information. Because, like, I have, I want to say at least two courses up already, plus everything else is being built. Like the super course is being added to, and like I said, that's these are things that I was literally gonna have people pay thousands of dollars for, and I decided to just like put a stop to that, only because literally the tree of knowledge thing is so immense. And when I created this thing, and I'll tell you guys about it more so down the road, but this is so good that it provided me with so much relief because it's like a framework that I'm able to, once it's finished, I'll be able to pass that down to all my kids, and it'll last for like generations. And that's really about mastering the five different aspects of life, which is relationships, wealth, money, basically. Uh, Relationships, wealth, money, health, mental game, and the spiritual game. So those five things are the aspects of life, right? And so if you really, you kind of, if you have health, that's great, but your mentality is wrong, you fucked. You could have basically everything else, but your money's wrong, fucked up, you're fucked, right? So all these things literally need to work together for you to have a prosperous life. And so a lot of people say the mental game is really the biggest game. Like you could have the mentality and you could train to have to become good. It doesn't matter if you have talent, but if the mind is right, you could foster good skills and shit. And so because of the mental game is so powerful, it's like that will lead you to everything else, right? So based on the mental game, it's like that'll make your health better because your mental straight. So it's like, okay, if you're mental straight, then it's like, okay, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta work out. Okay, I gotta eat right. That's gonna help your health, right? Okay, the mental game's right. I got 100 no's. That's okay. I'm not horrible. It's just I'm working to my yes, right? Help you with your wealth game, all from the mental. Spiritual game. It's like it's esoteric and what is that? Shit, I forgot the other word. So I forgot. But inner and outer game, right? So the inner and outer game is very important. And so if you take care of the things that you got for free, which is your mind and body, right? Those are the two things that we got for free and we take for granted the most. Is I take care of that. Your body is your temple, right? When you go close your eyes, that's when you're in the spiritual realm. So realize that you gotta take care of the outside for the inside to be right. You gotta take care of the inside, right? You gotta work your mental muscles, just like you gotta work out the outside muscles to get your mental stronger. But most of us, and I've been guilty of it. I haven't worked on that like I should. But anyways, I'll just keep it at that. Make sure you check the link in the description. We have shorts coming out every day, so that's not changing. So content's happening every day. So but it's just the long form content is not something that's happening every day. Every day, the long form content is right now. Currently, we have 2 weeks scheduled, and then the live is going to happen every 28th. So that's the update. Check the link in the description box below for the quiz. Basically takes you 3 minutes. If you're fucking fast reader, it'll take you sooner than that. If you're a slow reader, it'll be like 5 minutes. So take the quiz. Um, check out the community, I guess, if you want to. Apply for the tree of knowledge. It's not cheap. I'll tell you what, it's not cheap. Once you go there, you're probably going to be shocked by the price. That's how much the value is in there. And I guess I'll leave what I was thinking for the next video because we'll probably have that hashed out. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, well, great. Let me know. If you did, great. Let me know. And if you care to, leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next live, which would happen January 28th. Peace.